Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members and others who stumble upon this video? I'm SoresanCrockxen, bringing you guys anime time with Soresan. I'm recording like a couple videos in a row, so I might look same and all that stuff. So that might be weird, but whatever. So this episode will be on a town where you live, Kimi no Inumaki in Japanese, which is a romance anime that I decided to watch. I kind of made it a goal for my life, or not really my life, but for these next couple of years, I at least watch an anime from every genre. So I was like, let's just tackle romance right away. I did watch this show a couple while back, so I'm a little fuzzy on some of the details, but I did go back and look at some of the stuff. So yeah, so let's get started, shall we? As I said, we'll be reviewing A Town We Live Today, or Kimi no Irumachi, if you prefer the anime, the Japanese version. Anime, it's an anime regardless. But anyways, so the Japanese version of the name. So this, as I said, is a romance anime that I watched. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, oh, you watched the girl show, you're gay. No, that's not what this is about. This was a way to get away from the standards that I've been watching. And plus, like I said, it's a goal of mine to watch an anime from every genre, and it's like you have to watch romance anime. So I was like, let's just knock it out of the park right now. And it's a nice change of pace. You can't just stick to the whole exploding buildings and superpowers and magic all over the place and giant monsters and destruction. And cause, I mean, you gotta mix it up every once in a while, otherwise you get bored. Like I don't know. Like this for me was a nice change of pace, and it was something different, and that's why I enjoyed it. It was something completely new that I had never got into before. So, yeah. So take that. No, just kidding. But let's get serious, right? So this anime, I gotta say, like the reason probably why I didn't get such a better score than it did was mainly because the way the structure of the anime was, the way the episodes were structured was really weird. Because the way it went was that like you had this episode that this happened, and then the next episode like you were like, what the heck happened? And then you would get flashbacks either in that episode or the next one, or what happened in between that first episode and the second one. Or you would get an episode where you would get a flashback from something that happened like freaking before the anime started, or ones that happened like 5 years ago. It was like a mix of flashbacks with the current, the current time. And it was a little weird. Like you could get lost if you weren't really focused. Like okay, this is not now. This is before. This is, so stuff like that. So that's the only thing that I gotta say was bad about it. Plus the main character. Like okay, so the main character's name is Haruto, and then you have so he's the male main character, and the female main character is named Yuzuki Eba. And then so like they're like the central characters, right? So when you started, like this was actually like 2 episode OVA before the actual series. So the way it works is that they lived in like the countryside, right? They lived in this small countryside town, and then Haruto lived there, right? And then Yuzuki went there during like this divorce situation back home. So she was like, she stayed there with Haruto's family. They were not related at all. Like they have no familiar family ties whatsoever. She was like a transfer student basically, and then she ended up living in his house. He liked this girl in school, like in his school, and then Yuzuki ended up falling in love with Haruto, which became like this weird triangle because like the moment that Haruto started falling in love with Yuzuki, the girl that he liked started falling in love with him. It was like this weird mess going around, and it was weird. And Yuzuki had to go back home, like Tokyo, at the end of the OVA, right? So when the real anime started, it was like she was in Tokyo, and then he decided to move there when he was older, right? So he went to high school with her, and all this stuff. Um, but she had already moved on, and it was like, what the heck? This wasn't even that long. It apparently like, time had passed. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I mean. Like time had passed from when they were together, and then they're not. Like really confusing and stuff. Like she already had a new boyfriend, and like, I don't know. It was really confusing though. Like that was weird. And then we got to meet his sister, his older sister, who was actually studying in college for her teachers or something. Like she was going back to college to get her degree. And then we got to meet Yuzuki's younger sister, or kind of half sister, stepsister. I didn't even know what the heck she was. But her name was Rin, and she was so like she was a jerk basically. Like she made like the way they expressed it from the beginning, like back in the beginning, was that she was just awful to Yuzuki like at all times. It was just brutal, like just causing her pain and misery and just attacking her like in different ways. And Yuzuki just took it like she just took it because that's her younger sister. Blah blah blah. When she moved back to Tokyo, they actually met up again. She's actually like more calm now. She's more mature. Not really. She's actually a lot like I didn't like her at first, but as the series progressed, I actually ended up liking her more. Because she went from being a total jerk to her sister to just like doing just random stuff. It just made me laugh because since Yuzuki dumped him, right? She's with this other guy. Haruto still loves her, right? So he's still in love with her, but she has a new boyfriend who ends up like for some reason Haruto finds out is his new friend when he moved to Tokyo New School. His name was Kazuma, who by the way was freaking awesome. He was like the cool guy, right? But like he's kind of had that cool bad like not bad guy, like the cool guy vibe to him. Plus he rode around everywhere on a motorcycle, and his dream was to be a motorcycle racer, right? Race motorcycle guy. He wanted to be that, and like that was his dream. And then like one day, like Haruto was feeling down, and then he's like, "Hey, why don't you come with me? We'll have a like he freaking just like he was so funny. Like he just goes, "Let's have a threesome," and I'm like, "What?" Like Haruto was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah." I don't mean, what he meant was like literally like he was gonna go take Haruto on his motorcycle. Like his motorcycle was the one, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so stupid!" But it was funny because it like completely threw me off and threw Haruto off. And they end up going on a motorcycle, right? And so they go to this area, this park, or not this park, but this like kind of like bank. Like they were laying on the grass, and there's like the river there, and they were just talking, and then Kazuma starts talking about like his girlfriend and this and that, and then Haruto starts talking about the girl that he loves, and then like Kazuma ends up going like, "Hey, I'll help you get her back," right? So he's becoming like he's a cool guy, like he's trying to help Haruto, so they become friends and all this stuff. The weird thing was, and this is the like it's completely awkward situation because basically like they were like, okay, it's time to go, and then Kazuma loves his bike and all that, and then he ends up like going on his motorcycle. Haruto's like just laying there and he's like ready to go, and all of a sudden you just hear the motorcycle fall, and ends up like, oh my gosh, what did you do? Like, and then he had literally passed out because apparently he has anemia, which I'm like, what? Like, you want to be a race motorcycle guy, motorcycle racer, and you have that? I don't think so. And so he ends up having to go to the hospital. And this is where everything turns crazy because Kazuma is dating Yuzuki, and it was like the most awkward situation because Haruto went with Kazuma to the hospital. This girl shows up who likes Kazuma. Then this girl who's like a mutual friend of Haruto and Kazuma, and then like this random girl, like I kind of called it. I was like, I bet you Yuzuki is gonna walk through that door. I was wrong 2 times. I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. I guess she's not coming. But no, a third person showed up. Guess who it is? It's like she just walked through the door. I'm like, oh, I knew it. I was wrong twice, but the third time I hit it. And it became this awkward situation because she is Kazuma's girlfriend, and she's also the girl that Haruto wants to get back. So it's like this weird tense moment going on. I'm like, like the way it works is that she introduces herself to Haruto, obviously leading him on, saying don't say anything, and then Haruto is like, yeah, like they introduce. It was like the most awkward situation. I was like, if I was in the room at that moment, I would have freaking just been like, okay, I'm just gonna go, like, I'm just gonna walk out. Literally, it looked like so tense. Like everyone was just so tense. It was like that. It's that one awkward moment that you just don't want to be there. Like that's how bad it was. Like, oh gosh, it was like so weird. But of course, he doesn't want to hurt his new friend, so he goes along with it. And they end up leaving, and it becomes this thing. And then the girl who the mutual friend, her name's Asuka, and then she goes off because he tells her what happened because she knew there was tension in the room, right? Like she knew it, like so she brings it up, and then he ends up telling her everything, the reason why he moved to Tokyo and all this stuff, and then the thing that happened, and then so he's like, well, you gotta go for it, and or like she kind of questioned him in a way because it's like he's your friend and she left, like he kind of was in that, like, what, maybe I should give up kind of stance. And then when he went home, this is what, like when the flashback started happening, and then he remembered how she told him about how she was going out with a guy from before, and it's literally like it coincided with what Kazuma said in the bank. Like literally, like he had been asking her out multiple occasions when they were younger. She always refused him because back then she was in love with Haruto, right? Because the way, like, they met it like so weird, like the way they explained it, like when they were little kids, like freaking 5, 6 year olds, like they went, and then like she had gone to his town for celebration, and they had like this celebration, like, oh dang it, what's it called? Is one of those Japanese things where they have like a lot of freaking tents, and then like carnival games and stuff like that. Like it's not really a carnival. I forget what it's called, but it was one of those festivities. And then Haruto was with his friends, and then Yuzuki was by herself, and then they end up having, like, bringing her to the group, and they have fun and all this stuff. And he ends up taking her to like this lake where like fireworks started going off and looked like flowers in the water. And then he's like, look, the flowers are blooming. They only happen once a year, blah blah blah. And it happens at this exact moment. So like it was like that kind of mutual, and that's what the reason why she kind of didn't want to be with anybody else, because she wanted to be with him. Anyway, so after like years of failing, and then her going to his town, and then moving back, and when she moved back, and then he asked her again, she said yes. Mainly the reason why is because she found out about his illness. I'm guessing it was one of those, like, I feel bad, so I'm just gonna do it. And so she ended up dating him. So this whole issue like started going in his head, and he's like thinking, and then he like putting this, and this together, and he ended up like reading the text that she had sent him, and he decides to be a douchebag. Like literally, this is the moment. Like in the beginning, I liked Haruto. He was cool. I liked the romance that was going on. The thing that happened, I was mad at Yuzuki for a while, but I didn't hate her. And then he just pulls a douchebag move. Like, he literally goes to the hospital the next day, and he's like, I challenge you for Yuzuki's hand. The dude is freaking dying, and he goes and challenges him because, like, okay, I understand you love the girl, but freaking, the dude, he's your friend, and he is dying. He's literally in that state where he needs to get a surgery going on. If he doesn't, he's gonna die. If he does, there is a chance that he's gonna die. And he freaking just, you're adding stress into this, like ridiculous. Story to cut the story short, and I mean it's kind of like spoiling, but he freaking dies. Obviously that should have come from a mile away. Like he dies, and then the next episode, like apparently time has passed. Haruto's working now. He's gonna go to college soon. He's dating Asuka. I'm like, that totally came out of left field. They're planning a trip. They're all lovey-dovey and stuff. You know, it's like this situation that's happening. I'm like, what the? Like, and then flashbacks start going back. How she asked him out, or he asked her out, and then they decided to go together because he no longer has Yuzuki. She disappeared. Like he's like, don't talk to me anymore. But behold, freaking, she shows up again, and then like this is another douchebag move because he I guess he kind of still had feelings for her, but since he was with Asuka, and this is where Rin, the girl I told you about, Yuzuki's sister, this is where she comes in, and she's a freaking troll. Like I liked her at this point. It was so funny. Granted, like it was wrong, but it was still hilarious because she just comes in and starts taunting him. Like he's at work, and then she shows up, and she just starts talking about her sister, and then this and that, and like just all this crazy stuff. She actually ends up setting them on a date. Like tells him to meet her at this place to do this, and then she actually tells her sister the same thing, so that when he shows up waiting for Rin, Yuzuki shows up, and then he's like, I'm waiting for somebody, and she's like, I'm waiting for someone too. And then they end up saying, like they both get a text at the same time saying, I can't make it, why don't you go with somebody else? And then it was so ridiculous, literally set them on, and she was like right across the street watching from a building, like she was in like this little restaurant, she's watching them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what a little bitch. But it was so funny. Haruto, a douchebag play here because he's dating Asuka. So why the heck is he doing this? I don't know. It was a mess, but it was funny. And she keeps doing it too. Like, Rin literally just does everything to kind of get Haruto to break up with Asuka and then go with Yuzuki. But it was like so weird because she actually like teased him too to see if she would go, like he would go for her. It was weird because you couldn't tell if she really liked him or not. I mean, like at the end, yes, you could tell, but at that moment when she was teasing him, like you didn't know what her main goal was. It was really weird. It was just funny too. Then the trip doesn't work, so he ends up going home back to his hometown to be with his parents, and then Yuzuki actually was going there too, and Asuka went to be with her family because her mom was sick. There's weird stuff just going on, and it's like he ends up going to a festival with her, and then Yuzuki pronounces her love to him again, and then it's like this weird scenario going on, and it's like Asuka ends up showing up at his house because he had lied to her. He's like he lied to her all the time. That's what pissed me off. It's like every time that he ended up going somewhere and Yuzuki was there, he ended up having to lie to his girlfriend about who was there and what happened and all this and that. Like he kind of talked about certain things, certain aspects. He tried to cut out Yuzuki out of the picture so that she wouldn't get the wrong idea. But then he would like say it, and then she's like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to get hurt, this and that. She always forgave him, which was really annoying. Like at a certain point, like there's a line, right? And if you keep pushing the line, you should just dump the guy. Like literally, that's how I felt. They end up breaking up at the end. I'm sorry if I spoiled that, but they literally end up breaking up, and then he ends up going back with Yuzuki, and then they're gonna be happy forever and after. I don't know. I mean, it ended in a way that I'd be like, okay, I get, like, they're going to be together now. I don't see a season 2, but if they do, I'm definitely going to watch it because I did enjoy it. It was nice. It was something nice. Mind you, I still hate Haruto because of he literally messed up everything. Like, he was cool in the beginning, and I just hated him the way, the last, 6, 7 episodes, I did not like him. It's actually it's really short. It's a short anime too. It's like 12 episodes long. It was just, I don't know. Like Rin became one of my favorites. Like literally, at the beginning I hated her because of the way she acted towards Yuzuki. Because I didn't like Yuzuki. And I hated the way she, I don't like siblings that do that type of stuff. So that's why I didn't like her. But she became one of my favorites towards the end. Like, it was just funny. Like, everything she did was just funny. Granted, I still think it was wrong, but it was hilarious just to see him squirming and just like he was freaking out and all this stuff. So yeah, that it was a good anime though. So I really enjoyed it. Rating, I'll give it 8 out of 10 just because the episodes were a little confusing with how they were set up. No constant flashbacks and flash forward and these mix and maxes and skipping time and going back. I don't know. It was really weird. And the fact that Haruto, it, I just don't like the guy. So we'll see. Um, I guess that's it for this review. If you have seen this show, leave a comment down below. I want to know, like, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Did you dislike it? Who was your favorite character? I guess Rin was. I just gotta say, Rin was hilarious. So I just probably, yeah, I think I'm gonna put her as my favorite character because she was just funny. Um, so yeah, so who was your favorite character? What did you think of the show? If you haven't seen it, I do highly recommend it. If you're a guy and you think that that's gay, I'm sorry you think that way. You need to learn to get out of your bubble, and embrace your feminine side. We all have both genders inside of us. It's just that girls don't show their male side and guys don't show their feminine side. It's wrong. I don't know. Just like to me personally, you gotta have a bigger pair to watch something like this than not watch it and call other people gay. It literally, like, to go against standards, it's bluff. A lot more manly or whatever. I don't know. That's just stupid stuff that I'm saying. I enjoyed it. I suggest it. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, well, whatever. I can't force you. But yeah, so this has been SoresanCrockxen with anime time with Soresan. I don't know. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in a later video. See you later.